All right. So today we are still exploring reasons why you might need a FITcation retreat like yesterday. So this is reason number 3. And it is because you feel like your self-care routines and consequently your life have just spiraled out of control and you need to reel that back in.
Really
So
back on
we,
here.
yeah, we got to reintroduce ourselves. I know it's been a minute. So I'm Coach Brandy Nick for anybody who doesn't know. I'm a behavior change specialist, a personal trainer, and a health coach. And I am one of the co-hosts and co-curators for our upcoming retreat in Costa Rica.
And I am Irina George. I am a mom health educator, life coach focusing on childhood trauma, parenting, and cognitive behavioral therapies. And I am also the co-coach or the co-curator for this event as well.
So let's talk about it, right? So when this is not just that somebody has like never had a healthcare routine. It's that they set something up and then have seen that just completely fall apart because life is happening, right?
Right.
And that is basically getting in the way of you being consistent. So that is a key indicator that it's time to reset. And on this particular retreat, that's exactly what the focus is. The focus is on resetting, taking a pause, taking a couple of steps back, and reevaluating so that you can then move forward, right? So I know we're going to have a real fruitful conversation about this because I'm sure that we all have been there. But if you are watching this and you feel like this is you, like you have been in this exact same situation, then it might be on time, for you to come and sign up for this retreat.
Absolutely. I 100% agree. All of us have experienced this. I actually was just having a conversation this morning with a group of ladies about this exact thing, like how you used to, maybe go to the gym and work out every day and try to eat right every day. And then something happens like a pandemic and then everything kind of falls out the window, changes your life. You no longer have motivation. And so we were just discussing this morning about like kind of taking those slow, like you say, micro goals, kind of those slow steps of getting back in the gym, kind of doing some workouts that you enjoy so it doesn't seem like it's a heavy thing when you go back into the gym. Start out with some things that you enjoy and then build up that regimen that you can do every day that you don't mind doing every day. So just having this conversation, because it happens to all of us. It happens to the best of us. I don't care what you see on IG. I don't care what it looks like. Yes, everyone.
I know it's definitely happened to me,
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think too, the thing is that people don't realize, or at least like they like to beat themselves up about it, but sliding back on a habit routine that you're trying to develop is a natural part of that development. So it's like, people think that, oh, I'm a failure because I didn't do this, or, something is wrong with me. And it's like, no, nothing is wrong with you. Like things are happening. And so you adjust to the thing that's right in front of you. Right. Now, what would be wrong is if you decided to completely abandon that with which you started. And when you do that, that's when it's a whole problem, And so one of the things that we want to do on our Pura Vida, 5-day reset in Costa Rica retreat is really figure out on an individual basis, like, what is it that you want to get back to? When have you won in the past, right? Because we can always pull onto that thinking, rethinking about when did I do this correctly? There's a strength and a power, I think, in that. And so we need to pull you back into your power, and that's a huge part of this retreat and why it's beneficial. And also why this is a big red flag, if you're going through this and you just don't, you don't have the support or you can't navigate it. You just have no clue how to get back. This may be a way for you to, to reapproach those things.
Right. Absolutely. And so speaking of self-care routines, I know this happens to, it happens to everyone, but especially a lot of women who are moms or women who are in a caretaking role, whether it's children or your parents or whatever, we tend, or even your husband, we tend to put ourselves on the back burner. We don't do it purposely, but it winds up happening. So all the things that we kind of want to achieve, all the routines that we had, we just kind of forget those. And then we tell ourselves, you know, we'll get back to it. We'll get back to it, you know, next month, next, you know, next week. And it kind of moves on and moves on. And so
years go by.
Years, literally years. So I was saying that this morning, like, I used to love to cycle. I stopped cycling. And it's been, I don't know, maybe a year since I've cycled. My bike looks at me every single day. I love cycling, but I'm not cycling. And I was just coming in March, starting in March, I'm going to start cycling again because it's been on my mind. So I'm going to start cycling again. So those little things are what we kind of want to, I mean, I'm saying little, but it's in your life, it's broader. But those are things that we want to focus on when we talk about coming to the retreat. Not only are we going to be doing these things in a group setting, but you're also going to get one-on-ones with each one of us. So with Brandy, you can go ahead and kind of set your fitness goals. With me, you can go ahead and kind of set some life goals that you want to achieve, some things that you may be working on right now, some things that you want to work on in the future in reference to your life, some changes that you want to make there, some changes that you want to make within yourself so that you can be better for your family or whomever. So,
and also I want to just interject really quickly too, because they can work on their fitness goals with me, but they can also work on their health habit goals with me as well. So, you know, if you feel like, let's say, like I've had clients who I've helped them get off of their medication, or I've helped them, you know, build the kind of habits that help them walk without a cane, or, you know, things like that. Right. And so thinking about those things too, like what are your long-term health goals? What are the health behaviors that you want to have, or just overall wellness behaviors, and dealing with that now, because it's all interconnected. So I just want to make sure that people also understood that it's not necessarily just the fitness, but it's the fitness, it's the health behavior change, it's the health goals and wellness, and it's all of that into one.
Yes. And I'm glad that you mentioned that. My apologies for not
mentioning. No, it's okay. I think a lot of times people, you know, when they know that, you know, you're a personal trainer, they're like, this is what it is, because that is, a lot of times it's the box that people stay in. It's a comfort zone, right? But when you're offering more than that, it's a bit of, let me tackle some of the miseducation of like, what is fitness and what does it mean to be, you know, a coach in this way. And also, it's not necessarily the norm, right? It's not your average fitness trainer, personal trainer is not oftentimes also a certified health coach. And actually, I really don't know anybody else besides myself that is not a medical professional that also has the health coach certification. And so it's, it makes all the sense in the world that people will forget that. But I think it's important for folks who are considering coming to this retreat, or for folks who are watching this and you already are coming. First of all, bravo.
Yes, bravo to those that
okay, but if you're already coming, it's important for you to understand that this is a wider lens, but a very, very specific and uniquely tailored for you.
And another thing that I want to mention, just piggybacking on what you stated, you mentioned something about getting off medications and not having to use a cane and things like that. That's important, because this retreat is not just for young people. It doesn't have an age limit. So if you are thinking, you know what, I don't want to go on that retreat, they may be doing things that I can't do, this, that, and third, don't think like that, because this retreat is for everyone, young, older, our seniors. This retreat is for everyone. We want to see some elders on this retreat.
I think the range of folks that I've worked with in terms of age is probably as young as, for fitness, I'm going to go with that, as young as like preteen and all the way up to like mid 80s, late 80s. So so I mean, you know, so it runs the gamut. And I think, that you're exactly right, that there's an empowerment knowing that you can fix whatever you perceive is wrong. You can create new habits. You can do things at any age. You know, it's important, to own that.
The body and the mind are amazing. And the things that we can do with our bodies at any age is amazing. You know,
It's resilient. Our bodies are so
they
resilient.
are.
And
They
our mind has this
are.
plasticity to it.
Right. So when you start doing something new and you do it and you do it and you do it, they say the body remembers, the mind remembers. So the same way that you have memories, if you've fallen off, like we were speaking about earlier, and you get back in, it may take 6 weeks, 2 months, but the body is going to eventually remember. You know, it's just the way that the body works. And so we are excited to have people of all ages on our retreat. If you're a mom and you have a teenage daughter and you want to come with her, or even
Come together. Yeah.
Come together because this is about family. And speaking of family, let's talk about the size. We before were thinking originally that we were going to have a large group of people. After discussing it and thinking about it and kind of breaking down what we wanted to provide, we've dropped it down to 8 people.
Yeah, from like 20 or 24 or something like that. I think originally we wanted to make it a bigger production, and then it was COVID to consider. It was what we wanted to bring to the table and what we wanted people to get out of it to consider. Yeah, so 8.
Yep, so 8 people. And as of today, there are still a few slots, but we have dropped it down to 8 people. And that gives us the opportunity to be able to be much closer to you guys that we are hosting, to get to know you way better than it would be having 20, 24 people and not really being able to have that individual time with you. And so we've thought about all of this. Not only did we think about the things that we're going to be offering, what the retreat is going to be offering, but we also thought about the things that we want to do in Costa Rica and how those excursions can better serve you. And it just made sense for us to say, you know what, we're going to take 8 superstars with us to Costa Rica, 8 people who are ready to do an overhaul of their life.
Oh yeah, for sure. So I think, definitely when we're talking about habits, right? Because this is really, this particular reason to join this retreat is about reaching back into habits that for whatever reason you've fallen off. And we've named a number of different things. And maybe yours, maybe you felt yourself, you saw yourself in one of those, or maybe it's something different, right? But at the root of it, it's about how do we get you back into those habits? And so we'll be talking about the habit cycle and the habit reward system and all of those things, and really thinking about realistically, how long does it take to develop a habit? You hear all kinds of things. You hear 21 days, you hear 2 months, you hear a year, right? And the truth of the matter is that on average, right, it's about 66 days, but it ranges. There are some people who are going to be able to, in 21 days, they're going to get that habit. But is it everybody? No. Is it likely to be everybody? No. Right. But people, sometimes it takes a year. Is that everybody? No. Right. So you might be able to see that with constant, work on this, and we will be supporting you. This is one of the things too that I'm excited about after the retreat, that we're going to be continuing to support you. And this is complimentary, okay, to just you being, being a retreat goer, being a guest with us. And this is something that we can offer you to support you with all of the different habit development work that we're going to be doing with you in the retreat. Carry that on, right? And so with that, we can start to develop individual plans. What is it that, that you need to do? Your self-care, which is so important, which is, I'm hoping not become like a gimmick just in the pandemic. Everybody's like self-care is like a buzzword. You know what I'm saying, Arena? Right. It's a buzzword. Okay. But it's so true. We can't take any of the power away from self-care. You must have it, regardless if you are a parent, you're a caregiver. If you're not either of those things, but you're just not giving yourself the love and care that you need, you cannot forget about you.
Right.
You cannot forget about you. Nothing else works, right? Without you. You can't give to somebody else without you caring for you. You can't love somebody else without, so it's so important. But I get passionate about this.
No, because it's true. It is very important. And it's funny because we are within ourselves, but a lot of times we put ourselves last. It's crazy how the mind works. But you're right. You cannot forget about you. And I think it gets to a point, everyone gets to a point where they're like, what about me? And then you start slowly working on yourself. And this retreat can be that start for you. It can be your beginning. And as Brandy stated, right after the retreat, we're going to be checking in. We're going to be doing complimentary one-on-ones. We are going to still be working with you because we don't just want you to be with us for that short period of time and then think, boom, everything is going to change. No, as Brandy mentioned earlier, for some people, something may click in them and they can completely change after this retreat and be like, oh my God, that was it. But we know realistically for others,
that's the hope.
That's the hope. But realistically for others, it will take time. So we are going to be with you, after the retreat to kind of still help you on that journey of change, because that is what it's for. This is a retreat that we want you to remember for the rest of your life. And when you are telling those life stories, when you're talking to your children and your grandchildren and your friends, you can say, I went on this retreat to Costa Rica and I have never been the same. That is the goal.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And that will happen.
Yes.
That will happen for those of you. And I can say that with confidence, it will happen for you. As long as you are open to it, as long as you are receptive, as long as you know that you have been successful at some point in your life. Every single one of us has found success somewhere. We need to tap into that, right? We need to tap into that. So I am very excited about that. I know Irina is so excited about this retreat. And so if you have not already reserved your spot, okay, we don't have that many tickets left, okay? And we want you there. So sign up.
You have to want it. That's very important when it's time for change. Everyone around you can want it for you. You can have friends saying, go to the retreat. It'll be great for you. Go to the retreat, but you have to want it.
Yep, that intrinsic motivation, it's got to be there.
Absolutely.
It's got to be there. Okay, so sign up if it's for you. If you heard anything that we said and it felt like it gave you a little bit of energy, a little bit of chill, something, you felt something, then you know what that is speaking to you, saying this is the thing that you need to be doing. So do it. Don't ignore that voice.
I was just gonna say, do not ignore it.
All right. Well, we will see you hopefully on the next retreat. And next video, we're going to be talking about our next reason that you should be coming on the retreat. If it sounds familiar, then you already know what to do. We'll see you next time.
See you soon.
Bye.